We'll go ahead. Jeff, go ahead.
Peter, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm okay. Can you just take us through what you see when you watch the Sacramento State offense, what they do? They've got a couple of different quarterbacks. One of them is a real dual threat guy, I guess, and their running back seems to be pretty good. What are you seeing?
You see a tremendous amount of offense. Coach Taylor does a really nice job, of packaging. We'll see a lot of different personnel groups. Like you said, we'll see some multiple quarterbacks. I like their skill. 84, Pierre Williams is a really, really good wide receiver for him. I like how they use number 16. It's kind of a tight end body type, but there's a tremendous amount of variety in formations, alignments, and a lot of subtleties that are going to give us some challenges.
And the running back, I believe Elijah Dotson.
Yeah.
They split him out sometimes as a receiver, right?
Yeah, they'll play. Sometimes they'll have two backs on the back or two running backs on the field at the same time. Sometimes they'll be in the backfield. Sometimes you'll see them split out. Sometimes you'll see them in fly motion. So it appears that they think they're very versatile and they do use them in a lot of different capacities.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll go to Trace Travers. Trace?
Yeah, Coach, you guys didn't have Trey Pastor over the weekend. How do you feel Femi did in his stead?
We're very optimistic about Femi. It's all these players that are playing now that just joined us. Not everybody had a senior year. So the last time Femi really played was, he was a junior in high school. And Femi's still 17 years old right now. And I thought he did a really nice job for his first live appearance. There's so many things that you learn from that first opportunity, anxiety, how you think about the game, how you handle yourself when you're exhausted. All those different things really reveal themselves. And I was pleased with how he played for that experience. He needs to improve, like all of us need to improve. And I'm looking forward that, once the experience and, his talent kind of intersect with one another, I think we're going to see a productive player that helps us win games.
Yeah. And kind of looking back on TCU, you guys had a handful of missed tackles that led to bigger plays. Was there any common denominator to those missed tackles? And what have you guys done in practice this week to combat some of that?
Well, I wish we could say that we did something to combat it, but there's three things that we emphasize every week, and last week was no different. It's takeaways, which we need to catch the ball when it's in our hands. And then we always work tackling. We work tackling groups. We work tackling individually. We work tackling in special teams, which is a lot of the defensive players doing that. And then we also worked on the tempo of the emphasis of getting lined up, communicating, and getting the calls. We saw more tackles missed late in the game, which, I think we played nearly 21 minutes in the second half. The defense on the fielding about 20-45 to be exact, which for us, we have to get off the field. We have to do a better job on third downs. We have to essentially protect ourselves from those types of drives. I believe there was a 15-play drive in there. We'll continue to stay with the fundamentals. We're a heavy scheme team, but our emphasis periods are 99% of the time they're on the fundamentals of takeaways and tackling. We'll continue to do that. And we need to see better performance collectively when we go out there.
And on to Sacramento State, they have O'Hara, who's the Middle Tennessee transfer. What do you see from him? I know he's a big Tony Franklin system guy.
Yeah, I think both their quarterbacks do a nice job of throwing the ball around. Anytime you're playing multiple quarterbacks, I know they're playing both to some degree. You're trying to find what the team does best, how the team reacts to different leadership, and the different skills that those players bring. They've done a really nice job with that program, and I think he's a player that is going to get on the perimeter. They're not afraid to run him. They're not afraid to run some design quarterback runs with him. So he's got to have some moxie and some toughness, and we got to play well and do a good job of competing up front and containing some of those escape lanes and putting pressure on them.
Great, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Ashley, did you want to
Coach,
chime
yeah,
in?
just one quick one. I think Justin said yesterday that there was no update for Coin Dang, but is there any, do you guys have a sense of where he's at or how much time he might miss?
We don't have any update right now for you, Ashley.
Okay.
I think Justin will handle that.
How, just if without him, what do you, how can you adjust without losing a guy or playing any amount of time with somebody who obviously means a lot to your defense?
Yeah, Coin's been a big part of the defense for years. And, this is, the guys felt on Saturday, Marquez Bimage came in, Braxton played well, Oren Patu had some opportunities to play. Coach Hayward's doing a great job with the room, and we fully expect the next guy to come up and give us the quality reps. They're not, all those players in that room bring different strengths. So we'll do our very best to accentuate, whoever's in the game and try to call the game accordingly to what they're good at.
And just last thing, I know you mentioned some of the things that you saw, that, tackling issues and all the rest, but in looking at the TCU film, big picture, were there a couple things that really jumped out to you?
Yeah, I mean, the things that jumped out to me, Ashley, is again, we started extremely well. 28 seconds left in the second quarter, it's a 19-7 ball game. We have a completely unacceptable drive with 28 seconds left, which we had an unacceptable drive, in the first game against Nevada, to go. So those are things that we need to improve on. We need to execute better. We need to do a better job of putting our guys in position. So we have the capacity to play really well. And that's encouraging. What we need to do is we need to be better on some third downs. We need to improve when the ball is in the air. There's going to be, for us to be a good defense, there has to be some times the ball's in the air that we contest the ball. We go up there and we make a contested play on it. We knock it down. We can sit on a route and make it competitive. And if they do catch the ball in front of us, the expectation is we have to be able to tackle and get it on the ground. Not every coverage is designed to stop every route concept, but we got to do a better job rushing the quarterback, affecting the quarterback, and then playing the ball.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll go to Jeff Ferrata.
Yeah, Peter, real quick, can you estimate how many plays Femi was on the field for Saturday?
Yeah, I can. I think I have that right here, Jeff. I had him down for 42 defensive plays.
Did he play at all in the first game, or?
No, he did not.
Okay, all right. But the main question that I had was about your young defensive linemen. I wonder if you could evaluate how they were in week 2.
Yeah. So, those guys, of the younger players, Ethan, I think it looks like we had him for 28, Stanley for 22, Jaden for 22, and Rick had 1. Jaden, I thought, had a really impressive bowl. The rush on the center down there, I think the ball was coming out, and the quarterback ended up throwing the ball away on a intentional grounding situation. So that was great to see what he's capable of. In these situations, you're always in a race, of getting your guys prepared that don't have a lot of experience. So to be on the road in that type of environment, in that competitive of game, it's great for those men to be able to understand that feeling, to understand the urgency, and then therefore be able to understand, how difficult it is, the amount of stamina that you need to play, the toughness mentally and physically and emotionally you need to possess to put forth the winning effort. Stanley, I thought, did a nice job, and we asked him to play in some of the some of the bigger groupings. And, those guys have to continue to develop. And, when AB thinks some of those younger guys are ready to go, or, we're in situations that their skills match what we need them to do, AB will get more of those guys rolling through as well.
Terrific. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Trace Travers has another question. Go ahead, Trace.
Yeah. You throughout fall camp, you mentioned Kyle Smith as a guy who was improving. Is there any chance that he sees a few more reps in the coming weeks, considering that you've had some injuries at the inside linebacker position?
Yes, there is. Kyle, and I would say it again, he has made great progress. He's doing some good stuff for us and Charlie on special teams. I thought he did a nice job running down on kickoff, setting some good edges, playing physical for us in that. And, there's such a gateway from special teams and the transition into earning more offense and more defensive playing time, because those things are, there's the trust factor. There is the physical factor. There's the display of the physical tools that if you can do it on special teams, typically it translates to offense and defense. So he'll continue to develop that way. We're pouring reps in him. And when the opportunity comes up, I know he'll do a fine job.
And something you mentioned earlier was with regards to Femi was that a lot of these guys didn't play their senior year of high school, but you have a guy in Lou Hearns who did, and he's earning more reps for you guys. Do you see that spring season that he had kind of being something that catapulted him into being ready this early as a true freshman?
I can't say that him playing that spring season, was the difference. I would say an inside linebacker that is still growing and developing into a body that's changed tremendously from, in a short period of time for Fem. I think those are some things on the outside part of the field. I think is probably a little bit different of a transition, playing outside in, playing the corner position when things aren't happening as fast all the way across your face, but more leveraged. And he comes, Lou comes from a program that he's been really well developed, in terms of character, culture, techniques, fundamentals, so I think that's a probably a big part of it is the De La Salle, and the reputation they have is, and, you see a young man like Lou, it becomes more apparent why a lot of those guys have such success, especially early in their careers, because they're very used to the standard.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody with the final question for Peter? Okay, I think we're